We begin the news in Ogoniland, River State, where President Bola Tinubu has asked leaders and stakeholders in Ogoniland to put behind past grievances so as to support efforts in restoring the environment and remediating polluted lands in their community. President Bola Tinubu made this call as he received leaders and elders from River State to chart a way forward towards the clean of Ogoniland. Amadine.
What has happened in that region? Because the UNEP report actually recommended that there should be decommissioning and removal of the decrepit facilities that the oil companies left in Ogoniland as part of the cleanup process. But that is not being done. If anyone opens up the oil wells, it's a negation of the fact, of the reality, that cleaning the environment is the first thing that needs to be done. I heard the president say that people should forget about past grievance, but continued pollution is not a past grievance. Pollution is going on continuously, and we have all the evidence before us. Both the UNEP report and the Bayelsa State Oil and Environment Commission report of 2023. They're all there. They're out in the open.
And now workers at the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NiMet, have issued a 14-day ultimatum to the agency's management over unresolved welfare concerns, threatening nationwide industrial action if their demands are not addressed. The unions, including the National Union of Air Transport Employees and the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations, accused NiMet's management of neglecting workers' welfare and failing to implement critical policies, such as settling 9 months arrears under the 2019 Minimum Wage Act. Other grievances include non-payment of allowances, failure to implement a reviewed scheme of service, and non-compliance with ministerial directives. The unions have warned that unless the issues are resolved by 6 a.m. on the 4th of February 2025, all NiMet workers will withdraw their services. The management has yet to respond to the ultimatum. And in the education sector, the Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has reiterated the commitment of the nation's parliament to improving education in Nigeria. The Deputy Speaker, while receiving a delegation from the University of Calabar, emphasized the critical role of education in nation building and highlighted his commitment to fostering academic excellence.
As we approach the 50th anniversary of our great university, I'm reminded of the incredible legacy of excellence, incredible legacy of achievement that has defined UNICOR over the years. I'm proud to have been shaped by this institution, and I'm committed to continue to partner with UNICOR to advance the cause of education in Nigeria.
Just last week, the acting dean of Faculty of Law sent me a text that he was here to see you, and they presented a lot of problems, including the fact that they are not too sure of the accreditation of the program. And you picked up that challenge and said they should send a list, a comprehensive list for the accreditation, and they are actually working on that. Again, I want to say thank you so much, Your Excellency, for always coming to our aid and supporting your alma mater, the one, the school we are very proud of, just the way we are also very proud of you.
Now, in the meantime, hundreds of University of Ibadan students have protested the ongoing 82-day power outage at the University College Hospital, UCH, in Ibadan. The hospital, a training center for UI medical students, has been without electricity since March 2024 due to unpaid bills. The Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBED, could cut power to UCH in March and again in November 2023, citing debt. Despite this, power has not been restored. Led by the president of the Students' Union, Bolaji Aweda, the students voiced their dissatisfaction with the situation. Aweda emphasized that the prolonged outage has directly affected students, noting that the IBEDC has demanded payment before restoring power to the hospital.
Okay, so we are here to protest against the persistent blackout in University College Hospital that has affected and crumbled the education of our fellow students in University College Hospital and by extension University of Ibadan. So the blackout has lingered for over 82 days now, and for over 2 months there's been no light at University College Hospital, which has affected the livelihood of our students. People cannot function normally. You understand what you need light for, especially for students who need to study and do a whole lot of things. So the lack of electricity here is why we're out on the street today. Yes, we have reached out to the school management severally, and it's a kind of power play between the University College management and then the University of Ibadan management. It's a joint business, and there are a whole lot of things to do with it. Schools in Nigeria who are currently facing the same blackout. Yes. Number two, the implementation of the 50% discount of tariff announced by the Ministry of Power last year in August. And number three, the reform of the health sector in Nigeria.
Okay. The Nigerian Labour Congress has described as absurd the 8 billion naira allocated in the 2025 federal budget to sensitize Nigerians on the need to pay electricity bills. This was revealed in a statement signed by the president of the union, Comrade Joe Ajaero, on Tuesday. The Federal Ministry of Power had proposed a budget of 8 billion naira for 2025 to educate Nigerians on the importance of timely payment of electricity bills. Adelabo explained that the campaign would be conducted through multiple media platforms, including social, digital, and print, to reach Nigeria's diverse population of over 200 million effectively. Reacting, Ajaero urged those in the Power Ministry and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to reinvigorate the sector and save it from total collapse. Now, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has opposed the proposed increase in the value-added tax rate as outlined in the federal government's tax reform bills, warning that the move could worsen the economic hardship that Nigerians are currently battling. The federal government proposed a phased VAT hike from the current 7.5% to 10%, 12.5%, and ultimately 15%, a move the union describes as ill-timed and detrimental to the welfare of citizens already grappling with inflation, unemployment, and a soaring cost of living. Speaking during a press briefing in Abuja on Tuesday, the TUC president, Festus Osifo, says maintaining the VAT rate at 7.5% was crucial to safeguarding Nigerians from additional financial pressure. We go on a short break now, and when we come back, civil society groups label Amnesty International report on #EndBadGovernance governance protests as one-sided. Join us again. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, Akwa Ibom State Governor Umar Eno has directed the State Accountant General to implement the 80,000 naira minimum wage for 45,984 verified public servants effective January 2024. This follows the Committee on the Implementation of the New Minimum Wage Personnel Verifications Report led by Elder Efyong Essien, which was submitted on Tuesday. Governor Enoth thanked the committee and called for the extension of the verification to retired workers' pension schemes. He revealed that out of 55,120 personnel, 52,177 participated in the verification, leaving 2,943 unverified. He also announced a 30-day extension for those yet to be verified. The governor emphasized the importance of civil servant welfare, noting the state's commitment to good governance, labor relations, and ongoing efforts to clear pension backlogs. And now to security matters. Residents of Awka, the capital of Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, are asking the state government to step up its efforts in tackling insecurity in the state. Now, in the face of threats to their daily lives and businesses, they want a new security architecture to help stem the cases of insecurity across the state. News Central's Chinwe Ugele has details.
From Onitsha, the business hub, to Awka, the capital of the state, the story of insecurity is the same. The people are not at peace in their own environment because of the threat of attack by men of the underworld. The people say whatever the government does, security of lives and property must be made a priority.
He's not doing anything concerning security. A lot of people are dying, a lot of kidnappers are killing people, selling their powers, asking for ransom and all kind of things. So I'm not happy about that security situation in Anambra State.
They therefore prefer advice on how to tackle the menace of insecurity.
You should also reach out to people for even more an advanced and broader tactics towards this. If you like, in the Ministry of Homeland, there should be a department in charge of native intelligence gathering, that will aid DSS.
The recent enactment of a new Anambra State vigilante law and the empowering of the security outfit to fight crimes in the state is only a testament to the level of insecurity in the state.
Anambra is not 100% good in terms of security. If you look at it, there's a lot of kidnapping. People are scared of going out in the night.
Commissioner for Information Dr. Law Mefo says with the new arrangement, insecurity will soon be a thing of the past in the state.
Criminal activities that come under the watch of Operation Odogachi will certainly be treated differently. I don't speak for the police, but the governor is determined that this must succeed. And between now and next 3 months, there must be very clear pathway showing that Anambra is returning to its former glory, the safest state in Nigeria.
Fighting insecurity in a 21st century community should go beyond the use of arms and ammunition. The people and experts believe that the government should deploy the use of technological means in fighting insecurity in a state that has challenges like Anambra. In Awka for News Central, I am Chinwe Ugele.
Now, News Central earlier spoke with Valentine Ozigbo, who took time out to highlight the security challenges that the people of Anambra State are currently facing. Let's listen in.
Current government of Okuoma, Soludo Charles, Professor, what is doing so far in Anambra State? We're not impressed because he's in his twilight of his third year now and about to commence a re-election, and suddenly he's waking up to a responsibility that ought to have been his utmost priority. And what we're seeing is a case where initially he started from blaming church and traditional institutions and agitators and all of this. And some of us were saying, stop the blame game, take ownership, show leadership, and also show the empathy that's required. One of the clauses of the new law actually requires the Agone Chamber operatives to be able to practically conduct arrests without warrant. It's not done. Before you actually go to anybody's house not to conduct any arrest, there has to be a warrant. This is what the Nigerian Constitution provides. Because how do you allege without any form of evidence or proof? You can't just do things and get away with them. It's only in a banana republic such happen. In Nigeria, people just feel they can get away with murder. Politicians just feel they can just do anything they want and get away with it. Governors, leaders, we've got to insist that there must be consequences for every action. When there are good actions, we must commend and amplify and reward. But when there are criminality, we must ensure. Imagine if a murder case happens in the US. Imagine the attention the entire government will place ensuring that the criminal is brought to book.
Now, all is not well with the residents of Okuoma community in Ogeli South local government area of Delta State, South Nigeria, following their return to the community after the killings of 17 soldiers on March 14, 2024, and subsequent military reprisal attacks that brought the community to ruins. 19 days after their return, News Central's correspondent Austin Azu visits the community and now reports.
7 months since the displaced Okuoma indigents, who have been residing in the IDP camp in Otoewu, returned to their ancestral home to re-establish their lives, despite government assurances to hasten the resettlement and reintegration process, including the construction of a primary healthcare center, primary school, secondary school, and community hall. How has life been since their arrival back home?
At times, we do fishing or hooking. That is the only source we are feeding here now.
Now school have resumed. Most of the students are supposed to be in this school. Now there's no school to go. They'll be doing farming work.
A toll of the Okuoma community, formerly devastated after the March 14 bloodbath, which claimed the lives of 17 soldiers and prompted a military reprisal attack, reveals returnees building makeshift and plank houses to shelter themselves and their leftover property.
Before God and man, since when I come off for camp, IDP, till today I never sleep for house. Now bush I did.
There's no place for them to stay. And it's only person that he has more money who can be able to build a small plank house where he can put his head. That is the small thatched house and the plank house we have been seeing. Those that doesn't have money to do that, most of them sleep in outside when the night comes.
Here are the ongoing projects initiated by Governor Sheriff Oborewori over 6 months ago.
Imagine, I was saying the state government still talk to the contractor they feel very big. He don't want to complete the job. More than four months now, not even there. I'm talking to you now, the contractor they're on site. Then you say the people to say, see the weather, the rainy season is coming any moment from now. People will stay outside for 3 months. After 3 months, they come back again, stay on that side again.
With the early rains approaching, these women appeal to the appropriate authorities to come to their rescue.
When they close the camp, we not get anywhere where we dey sleep. Now outside, now we with the children day. Rain fall with day, sun they shine with day. Even food where we dey shop, no food. Hungry they kill us. Sufferness, mosquito, everything there with the suffer.
Okuoma community is an urban community in Ughelli South local government area located along the Focados River. It shares boundaries with Akubene and Okoloba communities, and both are Ijaw-speaking communities located in Bomadi local government area of Delta State. In Okuoma for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
Now, civil society organizations in Nigeria have called out Amnesty International over its reports on the August 2024 #EndBadGovernance protests. The report, titled Bloody August, Nigerian government violent crackdown on #EndBadGovernance protest, alleged that 24 protesters were killed, while 1,200 others were equally arrested, sparking global concern. However, the CSOs are accusing the rights group of bias, omissions, and misrepresentation. News Central TV's correspondent Oluwakemi Alimi was at the press briefing in Lagos and filed this report.
Addressing the media in Lagos, the coalition of civil society organizations criticizes Amnesty International's report, accusing the organization of failing to represent a balanced account of the #EndBadGovernance protest. The report by Amnesty International alleges widespread human rights abuses, including the use of excessive force by security personnel, arbitrary arrest and detention. It claims that police and military operatives opened fire on unarmed protesters in several states, leading to at least 24 deaths.
We believe that Amnesty International has allowed itself to be misused as a tool by politically motivated individuals who seek to discredit the Nigerian government and security agencies without presenting a true and honest portrayal of events. It is clear to us that the report is highly selective in its facts and heavily influenced by a narrative that serves the interests of political opportunists seeking to exploit the situation. The violence of August 2024, a deeper look. It is important to reiterate that while the EndBadGovernance protests were intended to be peaceful in many parts of the country, the protests in some northern states were marked by criminal activities that Amnesty International report fails to properly address.
The CSOs argued that the report failed to acknowledge the violent attacks on security personnel, vandalism of public property, and infiltration of the protest by criminal elements.
Amnesty International's report appears to be based largely on unverified claims from anonymous sources, with little to no verification or credibility behind this allegation. This raises serious questions about the integrity of the data used in the report. How can a reputable organization such as Amnesty International rely on unverified social media posts, blogs, and sensationalist news articles as the primary sources for such a serious report? Where are the verifiable facts that should be included? The lack of engagement with key stakeholders, such as Nigerian police, local authority, and other relevant parties, further undermines the credibility of the report.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian police force has dismissed Amnesty's findings as baseless. After an internal investigation, the NPF claimed the allegations were unfounded and demanded a retraction and public apology. The police have also issued a 7-day ultimatum to Amnesty International, threatening legal action if the report is not withdrawn. The controversy underscores the ongoing debate over the handling of the protest and the need for accurate narratives in shaping public discourse on governance and human rights in Nigeria.
Still live with us on the news. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, the Kano state government has appealed to partners to collaborate with the state government to help strengthen and empower indigenous pharmaceutical companies so that they can begin the local production of insecticide-treated nets needed for the prevention and elimination of malaria. The State Commissioner for Health made this plea as he received a delegation of the Malaria Consortium on an observation mission to appraise the response and treatment of acute malaria in the state. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
It's a quest for accountability in the health sector in Kano State by the Malaria Consortium, advocating for proper practice by health institutions in the war against acute malaria.
One of the disturbing diseases in Nigeria. And alhamdulillah, with your support, we are going to eradicate it the soonest, inshallah.
We can see that now they comply, that diligently the microscopy is conducted across all health facilities.
From primary to tertiary health institutions, the rollback malaria advocates say such in malaria cases is a source of concern.
That document stays permanent.
We don't actually still test almost every day to see whether the parasite has gone down and whether the parasite is, we don't want to see 1 + 2 + 3. We want to see parasite load. So it would be good if somebody can share some of this quality impact with us. It's not something we can just say it feels like.
The team visited the primary health center and Wauku and also had a session with the State Commissioner of Health.
Planning on setting up a data repository which would usher in how data can be managed through new disciplines such as data analytics, to be able to make predictions in disease trends. And I think that once that happens, this will be almost one of the greatest centers for the assembly of malaria data, because 1/3 of Africa's continent is found here.
So if you put in your work also to ensure that we get this, it will add value to the programs, it will make the commodities much cheaper, because they're locally manufactured, they're not like transportation, storage, all of it will be very, very cheap in Kano. I'm looking at Kano, the position of Kano State in the health sector is very critical. Any program that we get right in Kano, I'm sure you will get it right in the whole north. And once you get any health program right in the north, Nigeria will be safe.
They all agreed that with a population of 20 million persons in Kano State, there is need for special interventions to end malaria in the state. In Kano for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Tanzania's opposition to Demo Party holds a leadership election in the coastal city of Dar es Salaam. Party supporters say they hope that whoever is chosen as leader helps bring unity to the party ahead of the East African nation's general election due in October. Tanzania's ruling party had on Sunday nominated President Samia Suluhu Hassan as its candidate. Hassan took office in 2021 after the sudden death of her authoritarian predecessor, John Magufuli.
Mchakato wa uchaguzi ni mzuri na umezingatia kanuni, sheria na taratibu za chama chetu. Na kimsingi baraza la vijana, baraza la wanawake, baraza la wazee, chaguzi zimekwisha kufanyika na kiwango cha juu kabisa cha demokrasia kimeenda kuonekana. Uchaguzi huu ninatarajia atakayeshinda ana jukumu kubwa kabisa la kuwaleta wanachadema pamoja, kwa sababu uchaguzi umeleta mpasuko mkubwa. Lakini atakayeshinda tuna imani kabisa atawaleta pamoja Chadema ili tusonge mbele kama timu moja.
Mimi ambacho natamani kukiona kwa sasa, kwanza uchaguzi ukienda kwa haki, bila dhuluma yoyote, bila changamoto yoyote. Maana yake tutakapomaliza mchakato huu bila kuwa na tatizo la aina yoyote, mimi naamini tutakuwa pamoja, tutashikamana ili kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha namna gani tunakwenda kwenye mchakato wa uchaguzi ndani ya uchaguzi wa kiserikali mwaka huu.
And to stories outside the African continent, U.S. President Donald Trump has defended pardoning nearly 1,600 supporters charged over the 2021 U.S. Capitol riot, stating their lives have been ruined. Speaking at a press conference on his first full day as president, Trump also revealed plans to impose a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, citing concerns over fentanyl trafficking to Mexico and Canada. Trump has further urged businesses to end illegal DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion, discrimination and preferences. Following his inauguration on Monday, he has signed several executive orders, marking a swift start to his presidency. The actions signal Trump's focus on reshaping U.S. trade policy, addressing social initiatives, and providing support to those involved in the Capitol incident, as he moves quickly to implement his administration's agenda.
The European Union is very, very bad to us. They treat us very, very badly. They don't take our cars. They don't take our cars at all. They don't take our farm products, essentially. They don't take very much. We have a $350 billion deficit with the European Union. They treat us very, very badly. So they're going to be in for tariffs. Thinking about that too. We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada.
Now, Thai authorities denied on Wednesday that there were any immediate plans to deport 48 Uyghur detainees back to China, despite warnings from UN experts about the potential risks they face. The group, which fled China over a decade ago, is living in fear of deportation due to China's record of human rights abuses against Uyghurs in the Xinjiang region. On Tuesday, UN experts called on Thai authorities to immediately stop any plans to send the detainees back, citing the risk of torture and other severe consequences upon their return to China. Following this, China has insisted on its stand on illegal migration issues. According to Foreign Minister spokeswoman Mao Ning, Beijing opposes any support for illegal migrant behavior.
我不了解你提到的具体情况。作为原则，中方在非法移民问题上的立场是一贯和明确的。我们坚决打击任何形式的非法移民活动，反对任何纵容甚至支持非法移民的行为。中国是法治国家，将通过加强国际执法安全合作。
A rain-triggered landslide in central Java, Indonesia, has killed at least 19 people and left 7 missing. The landslide, caused by intense rainfall on Monday, buried homes and vehicles near Pekalongan city. As of Wednesday, rescue teams have found and evacuated 2 more bodies, reducing the number of missing individuals to 7. Alongside the fatalities, 13 people have been reported injured. Efforts to clear roads and access the disaster zone continue despite intermittent suspensions due to persistent heavy rain. The local government has declared a 2-week emergency period as the search for survivors continues. Indonesia's rainy season from November to April often triggers landslides, but climate change is making storms more intense, leading to stronger rains, floods, and flash floods. A similar disaster occurred in November, killing 27 people in western Indonesia.
Kira-kira waktu 18.00 tiba-tiba dari dalam kafe itu ada bunyi ledakan, jadi tanah meledak gitu, tanah meledak.
We're going on another short break now, and when we come back, more stories. Do stay with us. Now to sports stories. Super Falcons forward Blessing Nkor has sealed a move to Spanish club Deportivo La Coruna. Nkor joined Manu Sanchez's side on a short-term deal for the remainder of the season. The 21-year-old played in the Turkish league for Gaziantep Asyaspor last season, where she scored 12 goals. The versatile forward caught the eye during her stint with Tanzanian club Yanga Princesses. Nkor was on the books of Nigeria Women's Premier League club Sunshine Queens before moving abroad. She made her international debut for Nigeria in the 2-1 friendly defeat to France last November. Now, Borussia Dortmund have sacked head coach Nuri Sahin following a 2-1 Championship League defeat to Bologna. The loss marked Dortmund's 4th consecutive defeat across all competitions since the winter break. With 3 defeats in this season's Champions League, Dortmund now needs a win against Shakhtar Donetsk to secure a spot in the knockout stage. 3 losses in 2025 have left them 10th in the Bundesliga, 7 points adrift of the top 4, spoiling the Champions League qualification for next season. Still talking sports, Ben Shelton made history becoming the youngest American man to reach the Australian Open semi-finals in 22 years with a hard-fought win over Italy's Lorenzo Sonego. The 21-year-old victory follows his remarkable achievement at the 2023 US Open, where he became the youngest American to reach the semi-finals since Michael Chang in 1992. Shelton's powerful serve and resilience on court have seen him become the 5th youngest American man in the Open era to reach the Australian Open Final 4. The 21st seed will now face either defending champion Jannik Sinner or Australia's Alex de Minaur in the battle for the place in the final at Melbourne Park. And that's all on the news at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. Now, we told you President Tinubu has met with river stakeholders over Ogoni cleanup. We also mentioned Nigeria Labour Congress has slammed federal government's 8 billion naira allocation to sensitize Nigerians on need to pay electricity bills. And finally, we mentioned that Trump has defended pardoning Capitol rioters as he considers 10% tariff on China. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Mosugu.